Good evening, hello and welcome everybody. I wanted to do a live stream and bring these back to the channel and make them a lot more interactive than some of the other videos that I've been putting out as short particular picture dictionary words. So I'm going to be seeing about bringing a series to the channel, English words flashcards, and I've just got an intermission screen up at the moment of the Sydney Harbour Bridge because I didn't want the words to distract from what I'm talking about at the moment. I'll just give a quick introduction as to what I'll be doing. Looking to show flashcards, and I'll switch it over just now. So do a flashcard and then talk about it for a little bit. And I wanted to do a series of it and have something as a channel and have several semi-scheduled live streams. So look to do a live stream. It's now Monday night. Look to do another live stream on Wednesday night and another one on Friday night. So that way it can be used as a resource to supplement anyone learning and give you a direct channel to ask some questions and get feedback and make any requests. And I forgot to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Alex. I'm a native English speaker, Australian. So what I'll be looking to do is to do flashcards. There's a presentation for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and each night present 48 words. Why 48? Well, I'm looking to make some supplementary material, and 48 works well with that. It's not too big, it's not too small, and for each week you'd get about 150 new words you'd get exposed to as well. If you've had a look at the title for the channel, title for this episode, sorry, it's called EWF-99, and 99 is a bit weird to start at as an episode, as this is the first episode of the series. I'm jumping into some of the more advanced words. I've been doing some of the picture dictionary words in the channel for beginners and people very new to English. So right now I'm jumping into some of the words that are used less frequently and more descriptive. I do have some of the flashcards will have pictures into them, some of them will not. And I'll see if I can do as many as possible, but looking to do the schedule, want to have at least something out, because there have been times where I've hit roadblocks and I've not been able to produce anything. So this way, if I have the schedule set in, I should be able to make sure I get something out fairly frequently. And there's 98 presentations reserved for the beginner words that I'll come back and do and probably release them as videos. And even though I'll be doing live streams of the particular word sets and do it in an area I can be a bit more interactive with people, so if people tune in and ask questions as I'm going, there might be something like lead and lead and talk about different pronunciations of the words with the same spelling. And I'm happy to take questions. I may not get to them at the time. I'll probably focus on, and also wanted to open out to general discussion. So we're looking to add some other things to the channel, like have some news stories and point to reference to those and cover those. In this case, I'll be mentioning the Western Australia Premier, Mark McGowan, has recently left politics, and there was a few news stories covering his history as the state's Premier, what he did with office, and the event where he gave an interview either going into or coming out of Parliament on his final day. And on that note, I'm going to drop into the chat references. I'm sorry, I'll see if I can come back to those later. Sorry, I realized I've just turned the microphone off to mute. And sorry about that. So I've just dropped some links to stories about the Western Australian Premier's last days into the chat, and I'll see about putting in links into the comment section afterwards. So, and then I'll be looking to do the live streams for around about an hour, maybe longer if things go along. But I want to make some availability, so that way if people would, it could be a bit of a drop-in session as well at the end. I did a dry run of this, one of these a few days ago. It took about 20 minutes to go through, so there should be a bit of time at the end. And see about covering revision and maybe talking about some other points as well. And I'll mention as well before, but I'll come back to it later. If anyone has any requests for any words they want me to cover, even any genres, they might be saying, I want more to do with words used in an office, or I want some sporting words, or can I even tell something about, do a quick introduction to cricket, or AFL, or the difference between like rugby league and rugby union, or something along those lines. So if anyone has any information, general requests, I'll have a section of general business, and I'll be happy to answer questions on just about anything. So on that note, I'm going to move into the presentation part of it, the English word flashcards, and I'll go back to that. In which case, I'll be going through saying the word, so cubicle, and then swapping over to the side of a flashcard. Side of the flashcard with more information on that. So a cubicle is a workstation in an open plan office environment. And so, yeah, there might be, instead of buildings where everybody gets an office, there might be large open areas that's more flexible and easy to change. So there might be temporary workstations, or people might be assigned permanent desks. But they're referred to as cubicles, where the people go and work for the day. Delivery. They couldn't leave the parcels unattended, so I had to be home for the delivery. Treatment. After my injury, I went to the emergency department for treatment for my sprained ankle. As I left, they said my regular doctor should be able to take over my treatment at their practice. So I rolled my ankle. I'd go to the emergency department and have it looked at, and they might just say it's a sprain rather than a break or a fracture. And that even though I still might need to get looked at, there might be a bit of remedial therapy. I could then see my local GP, and I don't have to go back to the emergency department for that. Literacy. The government allocated money to give schools books to help improve literacy amongst students. So literacy deals with somebody's ability to read and comprehension, so increasing their vocabulary, and the books would help get the students more experience reading. And aerial. Aerial refers to something that's happening in the air. This is an aerial photo of a river that's flowing into an ocean. So like the English Pictionary presentations, I've got it photos attached, but it's not quite as well polished, and it's striking a balance between being able to cover as many more words than and getting a small amount out. Fantasy. One of my favorite movies is set, not sent, in a fantasy world, one where dwarves, elves, dragons, and magic exists. Anymore. Although I've been living at the house for a year, we still keep getting mail for people who don't live here anymore and haven't updated their address with the senders. So I might still be getting magazine subscriptions for somebody, or their bills. Pinball machine. The pub has a pinball machine, which people usually play on Friday and Saturday nights. Semicircle. Semicircle means half a circle. This door has a semicircle-shaped window above it. Contrition. Although the driver denied doing anything wrong after the accident, a day later he showed a lot of contrition and wanted to make everything right for the people affected. Might have had some time to about what happened. They might have, Superstructure. The superstructure is an area above the existing level. The superstructure of an aircraft carrier is the tower above the deck, where people watch aircraft take off and land. Cymbal. A cymbal is a wide, flat metal instrument hit by drummers. A person could hold two cymbals together and hit them together and play them by themselves, but usually not the drummer type. Overstep. I was new to the position and didn't want to overstep my role to offer the customer a gift card, so I called the manager to speak with them. In this case, someone working in a retail environment, and I've had a customer come up and complain to me who might have missed their delivery or not had it ready. Any number of things. Search. After the farmer didn't return that night, several neighbours organised a search. Oh, sorry, I've messed that up. Several neighbours organised a search to look for her starting at the crack of dawn. Lesson. I knew the first time I'd be doing this, we'd run into a bumps and a bit of teething problems, but well, I'm here to learn and make sure the next ones are more polished. Lesson. The teacher is currently teaching a lesson on geography. I don't like it. My favourite subjects are maths and business studies. Turntable. A turntable is used to play vinyl records and are still commonly used by DJs. Merge. The three sets of train tracks all merge into one on the way out of the city. It might be an area where trains pass, they could park temporarily. They only seem to be small and then look to merge back into the middle afterwards. Impregnate. The zoo had a breeding program for tigers. They recently brought in a new male and hoped he would mate with the females. But if he didn't, they were working on plans to use artificial insemination to impregnate the females. Flatterer. And this word is uncommon. I haven't heard of it before. A flatterer will often give out praise to people with the aim of getting an advantage. Brooch. A brooch is a piece of jewellery worn on a jacket, or it could be a dress, but it's worn on the upper torso. Storm. Storm hit the city at sunset. The winds picked up a little, and there wasn't any rain, but there was lots of lightning. I didn't see it, but I couldn't miss the thunderclaps. Broth. Broth is a liquid usually made up from the water from vegetables, fish or meat that have been boiled in, and it can be used in a very simple stew, or it can be used in other meals down the track to give them more flavour. Food. This one should have been touched on earlier, but I'll go this. The words I'll be taking from now on include some of the words that have been mentioned earlier. The cafe always has a good variety of food. Today's special is a Caesar salad. Pop. We heard a pop as the tyre burst before it went flat. Suburbia. Suburbia is a way to describe a place where houses are close, but it's not a city or the countryside. So we don't have tall buildings everywhere. We don't have countryside. There's a lot of, say, detached houses, and each of the houses has a yard. There might be an apartment building in there occasionally, but it's certainly not prominent. A gag order. The judge issued a gag order to stop the media from reporting the details of the case before it finished. Democratic. A democratic country holds elections to decide who becomes the government. It could be deciding from several different parties, or but it's decided via popular vote or some mechanism. Like the United States has the electoral colleges as well, that the people have a say in who becomes the government. Later we'll see a different example of style of government. Sometime. I got a call out for the blue from a friend asking for a catch-up. We couldn't plan a specific time today, but we agreed to sometime next week. Nicotine. Nicotine is a drug, often found in cigarettes. Pulsation. This is not a very common word either. The club set up their sound system to match the pulsation of the lights to the beat of the music. Realm. A realm is an area. It could be used to describe some land ruled by a king or a queen, or something figuratively like a realm of expertise. For example, the Cold War historian wasn't able to answer questions about World War II in depth, as it was outside her realm of expertise. Relatively. When a comparison is made against another item, I might be tall in my class at school, but compared to the basketball team, I'm relatively short. Chimp. Chimp is short for chimpanzee, a species of ape native to Africa. Liqueur. Sounds very similar to liquor. Not which is a name for general alcohol, but liqueur is a type of alcohol where a spirit that has been infused with another flavour like a herb or spice. For example, white rum and coconut. Interim. Alice was appointed to the project manager position on an interim basis, while several candidates, including herself, were being considered to take over the role permanently. Well, when you take over the role, it is implied it's more of a permanent. Registry. The government keeps a registry of who owns which vehicles as a way to help police track down people who have been breaking the law while driving. Helpful. The person at the entryway of the store was very helpful and told me exactly where I had to go to get what I wanted. Dictatorship. A dictatorship is where the government is led by someone who was not elected. There might have been a military takeover. There might be someone who has been in charge for a long... Yeah, I'm not sure what there would be other side from a military takeover, but if a dictatorship is someone decides what everyone does and makes the laws up without there being elections. And not all dictatorships are bad. I've heard there's something called benevolent dictatorships where there might be a king or a queen's truly interested in making sure the subjects live well. Belief. My co-worker called in sick on Friday, and I haven't heard anything over the weekend, so I have the belief that they'll be at work on Monday. Turncoat. A turncoat is someone who starts fighting a war at one side, but changes sides partway through. Imperceptible. As the driver of the car next to mine backed out, they hit my car and got very upset. I told them not to worry about it, as the damage was imperceptible, unless someone was very closer looking. Roller. A roller is used by painters to apply paint quicker than a brush. This one has a long handle, so the painter doesn't need to use a ladder. Syringe. A syringe is a medical instrument used to inject fluid, like a vaccine, into something. In this case, the person is practicing injecting the fluid into an apple. Presuppose. I don't want to presuppose what the meeting is about, but the fact the area and the regional manager will be at a meeting means it's going to be big. Yep. It's not going to be a run of the day-to-day meeting. Could be a big announcement. Printer. The lady had taken several pictures on the weekend and used the printer to make some prints. She would cut up and then put them on the wall. Drip. The tap in the kitchen would still drip, even when the handle was fully closed. We might need to call a plumber. Dumpster. A dumpster is a large bin that usually contains rubbish. This one contains only cardboard and is used for recycling. But you might see them at the back of supermarkets, larger buildings, areas where having a lot of smaller standard bins, it's wouldn't be useful. You might have the standard bins being emptied into the dumpster, and then a truck would come and lift the dumpster over the head as the rubbish truck. Dangerously. The police had received several calls by a car reported to be driving dangerously. It was going very fast and swerving, so they sent someone to pull it over. So that brings me to the end of the 48 words I had set for this presentation. So I was going to stick around and have any questions, or I could change into a different side. I could go back and quickly rush through them again, or change into a game similar to Tangle It. I was thinking of doing word searches as a way to introduce the words that would be used next episode. And there is another thing that is available as well to have quizzes. So I'll just run through these, the words in this presentation again. And if anyone's got any questions, please let me know in the chat. Cubicle. Delivery. Treatment. Literacy. Aerial. Fantasy. Anymore. Pinball machine. Semicircle. Contrition. Superstructure. Cymbal. Overstep. Search. Lesson. Turntable. Merge. Impregnate. Flatterer. Brooch. Storm. Broth. Food. Pop. Suburbia. Gag order. Democratic. Sometime. Nicotine. Pulsation. Realm. Relatively. Chimp. Liqueur. Interim. Registry. Helpful. Dictatorship. Belief. Turncoat. Imperceptible. Roller. Syringe. Presuppose. Printer. Drip. Dumpster. Dangerously. And there we go, we're back at the end. So once I'd be finished, I'd pretty much wait around for a little bit, then ask if anyone viewing had any questions about what was covered in the flashcards. And then if that didn't happen anytime soon, I'd open up to general business, which means if anyone joining had any questions, and even if you're not able to join the live stream, if people left comments to the live stream, I'd seek to respond to that and see about bringing it up in the future as well. So if you even asked a question where you're offline and you're not able to tune in, ask the question and I'll see what I can do in the live stream, whether it's as part of the notes of previous business that I do early into the live streams, I've just noticed we've dropped some frames. And it looks to be coming back. Just showing that it looks to be sending out a bit more data. At the moment, I think it might be coming better. Okay, well, anyway, I'll be reviewing this live stream later and making some notes of some things to improve and to make sure I don't make the same mistakes again. If you've enjoyed it, please let me know. If you didn't like something, please let me know as well. I want to try and make it much better. And the earlier I can iron some kinks out, then